Hello, welcome again to King's Bioproduction Academy. Today let's discuss or describe how the heart is adapted to its function. And the first adaptation, we can speak from the external section as we call the internal section. From the external section, the heart will be covered by something called pericardium membrane. We have the pericardium membrane, that is just a covering. So what will be the role of this pericardium membrane? The pericardium membrane will just be enclosing the heart. And this one prevents overdilation of the heart. So the first function is prevents overdilation of the heart. Then again, with this pericardium membrane, it will be having some fats. And what will be the role for that? Those fats will be doing some shock. It will be doing some shock absorber. It will be doing the role of shock absorption. It will be shock absorption because of the presence of what? Fats. Then between this pericardium membrane, so the membranes are two. So we have the outer membrane and the inner membrane. So between this membrane, we have a fluid, which is the pericardial fluid. Pericardial fluid. What will be the role of the pericardial fluid? Still, it will be doing, we are speaking about the pericardial fluid during the the pumping action of the heart. There might be friction being created, and because of this one will be reducing that friction. The fluid will do what? Reduce friction. The fluid will reduce what? Friction. That fluid will reduce friction. Then from that point now, we want to discuss about the valves. Let's discuss about what? Valves. And valves prevent backflow of blood. In general, we are saying this one prevents backflow of blood. But now we have various valves. Which are the examples of the valves? We have the atrioventricular valves. Those are the gas-bed valves, and we have even the semilunar valve. So let's speak about semilunar valve. The semilunar valve will be located at which point? The semilunar valve will be located, the role of the semilunar valve. It will be preventing the backflow of blood that is flowing to the aorta from blowing back to the ventricles. So we are speaking first. Blood prevents backflow of blood flowing to which point? Flowing to aorta and even pulmonary artery from flowing back to the ventricles. So when you check your structure of your heart, let's say, let me just make a representation of the heart. Maybe this one is our heart section. Then this one is your vena cava, pulmonary artery, aorta, then pulmonary vein. This section will be divided to two, and on that section here we are speaking about, we'll be having a valve at this point. So let's divide this chamber that. So we have section there, we have a septum here, this is our septum. Then we will have another valve here, we'll have another valve, and we have a valve here. So we are speaking about these valves. These two valves here are what we are calling the pulmonary what? We are calling the semilunar valve. We have the tricuspid and bicuspid valve. Tricuspid valve. What will be the role of this tricuspid valve? This prevents the backflow of blood from which point? From the right. Here is the right ventricle, right auricle. So we are saying prevents backflow of blood from right ventricles to right auricle. Then we have now the not cuspid by cuspid valve. This prevents backflow of blood from, so it will be left ventricle to left auricle. So from left ventricle to left auricle, or you can call it atrium. You can speak about atrium, or what? We are speaking about left ventricle of the left atrium, or the left what? Atrium. Then now we have the other, which is about the muscle, the heart muscles. And which one is this heart muscle? The heart muscles, on some sections, we are speaking about the what? The muscles of the heart, which is called the cardiac muscle. And the role of the cardiac muscle is to contract and relax rhythmically, to do what? To pump the blood. But now in terms of these muscles, they will be located in the ventricles. So we are speaking about what? Cardiac muscle. This cardiac muscle contracts and relaxes. We are speaking about what? Contracts and relax rhythmically. Without what? Fatigue. Let's explain this one. We are speaking about it contracts and relax without fatigue. Fatigue, we are speaking about, it will not tire up. It will just contract and relax. And due to what? That process, contraction and relaxation, it will not be getting tired like these other muscles, like the biceps and the triceps muscles. Then these still muscles, the cardiac muscle, they are myogenic. So we are speaking about what? Being myogenic. 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 It's myogenic. What is the meaning of them being myogenic? They can contract and relax without nervous stimulation. This means they can do what? Can contract and relax without what? Without nervous stimulation. What do we mean? We mean, as these muscles contract and relax, they don't require, we involve the brain. When we speak about nervous stimulation, there should be an impulse being sent, like the triceps. Maybe you are lifting a load. What will happen? We are first to do it. These muscles has to be stimulated from the nervous system, the impulse. We have the CNS and the central nervous system. Sending the impulse, that's the sensory neuron. Then after that, we have the relay neuron, and then returning back to impulse, back to the biceps muscle to contract. But this one, we are saying its initiation is by itself, but not what? Nervous system. Then we have the walls of the ventricles, muscles on the walls of the ventricle. We're dealing with the muscles. So we are speaking about the left ventricle is more muscular. It's more what? Muscular. What's the main reason why it's more muscular? The main reason here why it's more muscular, the blood that is being pumped here will be pumped the rest parts of the body through the aorta. So it's pumping blood for a longer distance. So what happens here? It's to generate the pressure. This one, the importance is to do what? Generate high pressure. And the importance for the generation of high pressure is to pump blood to a longer distance. We are speaking there, oxygenated blood, which has just arrived to the heart through the pulmonary vein, has to be pumped for a longer distance. And for this one, there should be high generation of pressure. So this section of the ventricles, the lining here of the ventricles, has to be more muscular as compared to the right ventricle. So we go to the right ventricle. And to this, the right ventricle, what happens here? to the right ventricle, this one is less muscular. I'm not saying it's not muscular, I'm saying it's less what? Muscular. And what's the main reason for it being less muscular? It's just what? It will just pump blood for a shorter distance. For a what? Shorter distance. And we are saying here it's from where? Pulmonary artery, just to what? To the lungs. That is a very short distance. That's from the heart through the pulmonary artery to the lungs. Then this one we are saying a longer distance because it's from which point? It's from the outer to body parts. And you know, to the body parts, it's a long distance, either to the head section and even to the toes. Then from now that point, we have the Purkinje tissues. We have the Purkinje what? We have the Purkinje tissues. The Purkinje what? Purkinje tissues. What will be the role of these Purkinje tissues? Purkinje tissues. It will be relaying waves from the atrioventricular node to the ventricular myocardium. We are saying it will be relaying what? Waves. Purkinje tissues. So we are saying Purkinje tissues will do what? Relay these waves from the atrioventricular node. Where is the atrioventricular node located? The atria, from the term atrioventricular, it will be located around the ventricles here. We have at this point the atrioventricular node. And we are saying this one, it will be relaying those what? Waves from the atrioventricular node to which point? The ventricular myocardium. That is the Purkinje tissues. So we are speaking about Purkinje tissues being located at this point. Then again, we have now the coronary artery. But before that, we have this other one, which is, what is the name? It's moving out of my mind. We have, that is located here, it's not Purkinje tissues. I'll get up. So let's go first. Again, we have the septum. We have what? Septum. What will be the role of the septum? That is very simple. Just a separation of oxygenated and deoxygenated what? Blood. I'm saying we have what? Septum. Then from that point, we have the coronary artery and the coronary what? Vein. And I think we're almost close to the end of this one. We are saying we have the septum. And we are saying the septum will do what? Separates. It's just a tissue which separates what? Oxygenated and deoxygenated. Deoxygenated what? Blood from mixing. That is one. We have coronary artery. And this coronary artery, what will be the role of the coronary artery? It will be supplying the heart with oxygen and nutrients. Oxygen and what? Nutrients. The heart is a living tissue, so it will require some oxygen for respiration and also nutrients to do that. Then we have the coronary vein. After respiration, there is build-up of carbon dioxide and other nitrogen. So it will remove carbon dioxide, that is CO2, and what? Nitrogenous waste from the heart. From the what? From the heart. Then again, you can speak about the divisions. Heart is divided to what? Four chambers. Which are those ones? Auricles and the ventricles. And which are about these auricles and the ventricles? We have the right auricle or atrium, right ventricle, then left atrium, left ventricle. That is how it will be divided. It will be divided. Then the last one, we can speak about the pacemakers. Then these pacemakers will do what? Initiate. This one is initiates what? Rate of heartbeat. Then we have the vagus nerve and the sympathetic nerve. This one slows down rates of heartbeat. And this other one what? Increases rate of heartbeat. Let me explain briefly about this one. We are saying we have pacemakers initiating the heartbeat. We said in the first point the heart muscles were myogenic. So and that is why they have pacemakers to initiate the rate of heartbeat. Then from that point, maybe you are under strenuous exercise. What happens? You will require more heartbeat rate to supply the blood to your muscle. So what happens here? This one will increase. At least it will surpass what is required. Thank you very much.